Hey, want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?
He's just a common man, working hard with his hands. He's just a common man, working hard for the man. Hey, he's American dream.
This is fucking great. These McMahons are assholes. Total assholes. How's everyone feeling today? I have no idea what the reaction of the short bus riding mouth breathers of the IWC is from Raw, but I can only imagine it's probably not very good because Daniel Bryan got stripped of the title. By the way, welcome everyone. You have stumbled across my General Night of Champions and Raw Fallout discussion. I'm not going to go through match by match, play by play results. We're just going to talk about what the fuck happened on the last couple of shows that we saw over the weekend. Now, Daniel Bryan, of course, at Night of Champions, gets the fast count on Randy Orton, wins the WWE title. You know, the crowd goes home happy. The yes, yes, yes. He comes out on Raw with the title, even with his new nameplates on it. And, of course, we had a feeling because of that fast count, Triple H hits the ring, and he just flat out strips Daniel Bryan of the title. Now, I got a bunch of opinions on this. First of all, the referee, Scott Armstrong. Now, I can already imagine that I think this has got to be a giant ruse by Triple H. I think that he was in on this thing from the beginning, and he's the one that put Scott Armstrong up to the fast 3 count. In order to protect his title and to keep the title off of Daniel Bryan, I can imagine him saying to the referee, look, if Daniel Bryan hits his finisher, I want you to fast count Randy because Randy Orton's not going to kick out of that anyway. So if you fast count him, I now have a reason to strip the title off of Daniel Bryan and keep the title with the family. And then I'm going to come out on Raw and humiliate you and fire you, and you got to pretend like you and Daniel Bryan were in on this. I think Triple H put Scott Armstrong up to this completely, and you got to wonder how many of these families that the McMahons are going to piss off. You got the Armstrongs. What if Triple H does something to Road Dogg? You know, and then they come back, and then you got the Rhodes family, which we'll talk about. So, you know, all sorts of cool little dynamics here of a bunch of people rising up, you know, to stand up to the evil McMahons. Could make for some really, really good TV in the next few months. So Scott Armstrong is now quote-unquote fired. I'm sure he'll be back, and then Triple H takes the belt off of Daniel Bryan, but does not give it to Randy Orton. He's decided to hold the belt up. Now, I got multiple opinions on this. I don't know how I feel about this. Normally, if there's a title held up, you know, they can make it, you know, the next title match or a tournament or something like this. I don't know if I want the WWE title to be decided at Battleground. I hate these type of pay-per-views that I forget. I thought Hell in the Cell was the next pay-per-view. It's Battleground. Don't tell me there's Hell in the Cell before the Survivor Series as well. I guess I should have looked at the pay-per-view schedule before I came up here and did a commentary, but after Battleground, then what? Is there one more before Survivor Series? So if you ask me, whatever they decided to do to hold up the title, I wish they could have waited and gone old school and done a tournament at Survivor Series like they did in 1998. How cool would that be? And how cool would it be if there was some sort of major swerve at the end like Daniel Bryan was the one that turns heel, just like The Rock? And the whole thing could be some big elaborate master plan to humiliate somebody else, maybe like Randy Orton. You piece of shit, you two-strike motherfucker, we put so much faith in you, you let us down every time, so we put this whole plan in motion just to humiliate your ass and put the belt on young, talented Daniel Bryan, the future of the WWE. Fuck you, Randy Orton. They completely shit on him, turning him into a face. That's far-fetched. That might not even be that good, but something like that I would have much prefer to see with a held-up WWE title than just some fucking gimmick match at Battleground, which is probably what we're going to get. So I'm guessing Daniel Bryan and Randy Orton are going to have another match. The title will be at stake, and there will be some sort of major stipulation. And you have to wonder, you know, with what's been happening to Daniel Bryan, he gets so close and then it gets ripped away from him. You have to wonder if they do it one more time. What if Daniel Bryan wins the belt again in some shady fucking way, and then they take it away from him again? And then that leads to the big blow-off Hell in the Cell match or something else at Survivor Series or whatever they plan to do. So who knows? They can go multiple different directions with this. And I think it's a fucking amazing angle. When I started these commentaries, you know, over 3 years ago, what was going on in WWE was really just a fucking snooze fest for me. I was really just coming up here bitching at the Smarks, bitching at TNA, John Cena haters. I was barely fucking paying attention to the product. I think I defended it, told everybody, hey, shut the fuck up, Nexus is not that bad, all these young guys, you know, this is the future of the company, you should embrace a big storyline like this is great. But looking back to that compared to what they're doing now, you know, you can have all the young guys that you want to balance out a card, but it's the true storytellers that can really make the show so good. And I love that they've brought back some of these older elements like the evil McMahons and all of that, because that's where the ratings are. And to be honest, say what you want about the McMahons, but this is the best storyline that they have done in a while. And this thing that they're doing with Daniel Bryan, I can't imagine anybody being pissed off, but I'm sure a lot of people are. Man, they're screwing over Daniel Bryan. I'm going to boycott the WWE. You know what? Fuck you. Boycott all you want. I wish your father would have boycotted your mother. You slimy little shit. Why don't you shut the fuck up and enjoy the storyline? Haven't you ever gotten laid? Haven't you ever had a girlfriend? And I think I just answered my own question. Of course you haven't. But when you finally do, what you're going to realize is the best part of that is the chase. That's the most fun. And then what happens when the chase is over? It's a few months of really good sex, and then you hate each other. And a few months after that, you're broken up. Same thing with Daniel Bryan. You can't control your hard-on and you want everything right now instead of stretching it out and enjoying the ride. Because you know what's going to happen when Daniel Bryan has his day? You are going to tear him down. Before you know it, Daniel Bryan will be overrated. Before you know it, Daniel Bryan will be holding people back. Before you know it, Daniel Bryan will be the transitional WWE champion, or not a true champion, or not a credible champion, or any other ridiculous idea ricocheting around in your skull. They're not going to keep doing this, give it to him, take it away, give it to him, take it away, and surround the entire show around him for the entire winter time just to fuck him, screw him over, and take a piss on him at the end. Don't be fucking retarded. And it's about time you complainers realize the 22-year-olds with no money, no woman, who live with their parents do not know better than Vince McMahon. Speaking of pieces of shit, Stephanie, wow. It ain't hard to hate her, is it? Jesus. So she comes out there. First of all, she's backstage bullying everybody as usual. And that fucking opening segment that I started the commentary with, when she screamed and got in Randy Orton's face, I thought somebody had shot a deer. I mean, I think Stephanie's a really hot woman, but a voice like that will make a strap-on go limp. But she has that great segment with Dusty Rhodes in the ring, which I find it interesting that they're involving the Rhodes family, and they have such a prominent role in this. You know, I think the Rhodes family is going to be one of a few people that's finally going to, like I said, rise up and start a revolution to take on these fucking McMahons. And it also makes me think that Goldust might have gotten a contract out of this, because the way they were bringing him up, Dusty Rhodes, you got to choose which son gets the contract. You got to think that you're going to see both of the sons, you know, united as one and helping take down this huge McMahon corporation. And if Goldust sticks around, then there's time to where you can possibly think about those Cody and Goldust WrestleMania rumors. Now, I have no idea yet how they're going to figure out how to bring those two guys back. I would imagine Cody Rhodes is probably finishing up his honeymoon right about now, so they're probably going to have to find a way to write one or both of them onto TV pretty soon here. I don't think at Dusty Rhodes' age he needs to be in a match, but you have to wonder if you might see the Rhodes family versus the Shield or some sort of combination like that with jobs on the line, you know, just to try to, you know, humiliate the Rhodes family even more, but maybe something happens and they pull off the upset and the boys have their jobs back. And you have to wonder, when the fuck is the Big Show finally going to have enough? You know, she brings him out there, she makes him knock out Dusty Rhodes, he's crying, I have to, you don't understand, I have to. You know, some of this stuff, you know, I really like the storyline, I like the direction, I like how evil the McMahons are being, but, you know, you go back to that suspension of disbelief. I'm just having a hard time believing that Big Show is so down on his luck that he'd be willing to just shatter his pride, you know, just to keep his job, just to make a buck. He's broke, you lost all your money, whatever the stupid storyline is that they're claiming is the reason that Big Show has no choice. I wish that he would either just say, fuck you, McMahons, and knock one of them out, or turn heel, one or the other. To me, this is actually a very, very minor problem in what I think is an amazing storyline right now. And this whole McMahon, you know, dictatorship that's going on with the WWE right now, I think is the best storyline that we've seen in a long time. And it's getting me really excited to see where it's going to lead, how it's going to wind up at WrestleMania, and which players are going to be involved. Who's coming back, who's going to be heel, who's going to be face. You know, what the fuck's going to happen? So lots of questions to be answered and lots of unknown. And that's what you want as wrestling fans. You don't want to see what's coming around the corner. I love, you know, the endless amount of possibilities that we seem to have here, you know, over the next 6 or 7 months leading into next year. That's going to be really good. One thing I forgot to mention was the Randy Orton and the Miz match, where Stephanie, you know, was acting like a crazy bitch backstage, and when she got in Randy Orton's face, you know, calling him out for not being the vicious, cold-hearted viper that'll DDT the COO of the company's wife. And she wants to see that guy again, so he's got a match with The Miz. The Miz's parents, apparently these are plants. I don't know. What's the story? Is that really his parents? That was pretty hilarious. They look like fucking Bruce Pritchard and the Fabulous Moolah. They look like they own a pawn shop. They look like bail bondsmen or something like that. Pretty funny. And the dad was just fucking sitting there when Randy Orton is just beating the snot out of The Miz. You know, obviously the dad can't stop Randy Orton, but you would have to think if this was the real father and this is a real situation that the dad would at least, you know, be begging or pleading with Randy Orton, or the mother would be screaming, please don't. Or maybe the dad just sticks a fucking hand up, anything to try to stop, you know, Randy Orton from doing it. But he literally had them 1 foot away from his dad, and the dad just sitting there looking at him. If I was The Miz, I would have been like, no, it's okay, Dad. Don't try to stop him. I got this. You know, like, what the fuck? What kind of parents are these? Fucking Stu Hart, when he was 85 years old, would have been more energetic than that. So if the WWE did hire plants or actors to play the role of The Miz's parents, they hired the two worst fucking people I can imagine. I would almost think that maybe these are The Miz's real parents, because only real people would be such shitty actors. So between the Armstrongs, the Rhodes family, you know, the Miz's family, all the guys that ran out and saved Daniel Bryan in the main event of Raw, you know, the McMahons are really building a giant group of enemies here. And you can almost see a lot of things starting to come together for Survivor Series. There's definitely going to be some team activities going on for sure, I would think. Let's see, what else happened on Raw? Paul Heyman has a new boyfriend. How about that? Ryback came out to save his ass from CM Punk, beating the shit out of him at Night of Champions. Punk got the win over Curtis Axel, leaving Heyman in the ring by himself. I didn't see the match, but from what it looked like, CM Punk did get his hands on Paul Heyman a little bit, started beating him down. Ryback hit the ring, I think put CM Punk through the table, and allowed Paul Heyman to score the pin on CM Punk. It's been a tough year for Punk. Rock beat him, Undertaker beat him, Brock Lesnar beat him, and now the great and mighty Paul Heyman beat him. And now it looks like he's going to be starting a feud with Ryback, which is fine, because this is going to fill some time until we see Brock Lesnar again. I'm sure we haven't seen the last of those two. I do think CM Punk is going to be in the title picture by the time we get to WrestleMania 30. And is this going to be another push for Ryback that's just going to fall short? Last time they tried to push him, he lost every match that he had. He was wrestling CM Punk about a year ago at this time for the title, and CM Punk was getting the better of him in those matches as well. So you have to wonder this next match that's obviously going to happen, I'm guessing, at Battleground between CM Punk and Ryback. As far as the feud goes, I don't know if CM Punk and Ryback can put on just as good a showing as Brock and Punk did, you know, then I say hell yeah. Otherwise, I'm not too terribly excited about anything really that involves Ryback. And also, I am guessing that there will be, you know, more stipulations like he had with Curtis Axel, where if, you know, CM Punk beats Ryback, then he finally gets Paul Heyman. Something like that will wind up culminating. CM Punk will finally get his hands on Paul Heyman. And just like the Daniel Bryan storyline, it's all about the chase. CM Punk will eventually get revenge on the Paulrus, which they're calling him now, which I thought was kind of funny, just like Daniel Bryan will eventually hold that title up and keep it for longer than 24 hours. As far as what else is going on, I think all the champions still have their belts. Alberto Del Rio did hold on to the World Heavyweight title against Rob Van Dam, even though he lost via disqualification. And that idiot Damian Sandow still has the chocolate in the bank briefcase. So there you go. That's really all I have time to give you today. Just a few comments on what we saw on the pay-per-view and Raw. Keep me posted this week if any earth-shattering shit goes down, and I will be up here at the very latest next week after Raw. Until then, peace.